Today, I'd like to talk about how to identify your talents. In the past, I've heard people describe themselves as quote unquote talentless, but this is how I look at it. There are two common beliefs. One, people are born with it, and that is all there is to it. Two, talent can be learned through experience. One can start from zero and reach mastership levels if they try hard enough. I'd like to offer a third belief. I personally believe what determines a trait to be a talent is just a matter of scope. The traditional definition of the word talent is a natural aptitude or skill. However, the way we use the word talent today can be interchanged with the word ability. When most people hear the word talent, they immediately see a picture that only includes artists, performers, and musicians. My definition of talent is any capability that allows you to stand out. Obvious ones are the aforementioned artists, performers, and musicians, but it goes beyond that and encompasses pretty much everybody. I don't think I've ever met anybody who wasn't talented in their own way. My oldest sister, being the eldest, ultimately ended up watching over my brother and I through our childhood. Not only was she the oldest of us, but she was also the first of our generation. Among all of my cousins, she was always the one who laid down the law and carried the responsibility that one of us wouldn't go wandering off into someone else's yard. Her strength has always been her capacity to nurture, influence, and to guide. It was only natural that she became a teacher and then rose through the ranks to administration levels and then became part of their teacher support. A friend of mine seems to naturally draw people together. He just likes being with cool people, and for as long as I've known him, has always been that person who invites everyone to everything. Yet, he doesn't consider himself outgoing. Meanwhile, there are those who not only excel at organizing chaos, but also can't help themselves to do so. When they see an inefficiency anywhere, even when they're just standing in line at the grocery store, they're secretly devising processes to iron it out. I've even noticed that there are some people who just know the perfect thing to say in any given situation. They could be at a formal celebratory dinner or at a funeral and will hit just the right words in the perfect tone with just the right amount of pacing. Just perfection. These are all useful marketable talents. The funny thing is, most people don't see these kinds of special powers as talent. Abilities come to us as second nature, and because they are so obvious to us, we assume everyone else is the same way. We don't think of them as anything out of the ordinary or of special value. I mean, many of these abilities, even the ones I just mentioned, are things that I couldn't do. While I'm here talking about talents, I need to mention the opposite. Talents we want so bad, we get stuck trying to develop or chase them for way longer than we should. Now, I'm not saying that you should not pursue developing a new skill. Of course, new skills are vital to your survival. There are just some people who try to move too quickly and put themselves out there way earlier than they are ready for. This is especially common for career choices. For example, there are some of us who got lucky in life. Maybe a friend is hired into a high-ranking position and that led to them naturally wanting to have you on board. So they bring you in as a manager. In some occasions, this person being hired has never been in a leadership position before. I've personally seen this happen. Some people may take it as an opportunity to learn how to become a good leader. They'll read every book they find on managing people. They'll watch countless videos of interacting with those under them. Research every nugget about different philosophies and approaches to getting things done efficiently. Some of them have this natural spark to them that seems to be a combination of life experiences, organizational mentality, and have a way of gaining rapport with those they work with. I've mentioned and worked alongside a few really good project managers, and there is definitely something about them that puts them in front of the pack. And then there are others who just don't even realize there's more to it than just telling people what to do. It doesn't even occur to them that they have inner work to do because they've been handed the keys so early in their career. So these people stay in this position for a few years. My condolences if you've ever worked under one. Then when they move on, they feel they deserve to be in the same management type of position because they have the experience. In reality, they still suck as a manager because they didn't put in the work to give themselves a solid foundation. At this point, they have a choice: take their lumps and put in the work to get themselves in a better position, or take a look inward and notice what else they have to offer. They decide to pursue it because, hey, they already have the experience, right? Unfortunately, remember that natural spark I mentioned within those good project managers? For various reasons, they may not have that. It's also probably why they didn't have the instinct in the first place to solidify their position. It may take years, possibly decades, to get to the level of the aforementioned good project managers, or they may never get there. And in that whole time, they could have focused on pushing skills that already do come naturally to them. I'd hate to say it, but some things are just not meant to be. There's a turning point where what we want, no matter how hard we try, just won't equate to success. This breaking point is wherever you draw the line that makes sense to you. I've mentioned elsewhere that I'm pretty good at drawing. Given more free time and a bit more energy, I would dare say I could probably make a passable living at it. The reality is, I don't have that time or that energy, and I have enough things to do. There's an entire industry of artists who, while they had to work to hone their craft, entered the arena with a crazy amount of raw talent to begin with. For these people, their natural mindset, coupled with their ability to observe and apply them to art, came to them near effortlessly. They can't help themselves but to create. One of my friends drew in his sketchbook while he stood in line at the grocery store. That same friend once got kicked out of a theater because he was in the back row drawing on his laptop and stylus tablet. Even while playing video games, he drew while the next level of the game would load. For as long as I knew him, drawings poured out of him like words coming out of his mouth. He was a character designer for DreamWorks Animation, was immensely talented, and just couldn't get enough of it. For me, drawing was a completely different beast. Every art piece was a struggle. There always seemed to be a wall that I had to punch through to get to the next problem in the drawing. But we're human, we have egos to satisfy, so we continue to grind despite ourselves. Through hell or high water, I am going to get there, damn it. One day I took a look at the bigger picture and realized I just didn't enjoy drawing as a profession anymore. And it's not to say I can't continue to draw, I just now do it for different reasons, or rather, my original reasons, namely for myself and those close to me. And there's also no reason to say I won't continue to develop this skill and might at some point jump back into it at a professional level. As it turned out, it's also a great skill to augment my programming skills, as it's an ability most other programmers don't have. Identifying the skills we won't ever achieve, at least to the level we want it to be, is just as important as identifying the ones we do. At what point do you draw the line in the sand and reevaluate? We're human, we are multifaceted creatures, we're good at many things. When you're looking inward, it is not the time to be humble, nor is it a place where you give yourself false positives. Your inner self will best serve you when you are honest and brutal, and it should be used as an objective status check. Also, I should mention, it makes sense if a talent that comes naturally to you isn't one that excites you very much. Because where's the challenge in having something that feels second nature? What I'm talking about is recognizing the value of your talents and taking advantage of them. What abilities come naturally to you? What are your hidden powers? Don't take them for granted. Ask your friends. Maybe your talent is what makes you so likable in the first place. What are some talents you see in them? Perhaps an exercise to consider is identifying strengths in other people everywhere you go. As humans, our nature is to be harsh on ourselves, and it's easier to notice these things on others. When you get good enough in seeing it in others, maybe it'll help you see it in yourself. Just something to think about. But of course, this is just my opinion, and the debate on what talent is or isn't has been going on for literally ages. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe if you got anything out of this video. At any rate, that's it for now, and as always, keep your chin up and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.